is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility.
Merry Christmas from your boys at Anfield South. It's me, your boy Slim. We're back at it again with another podcast. Engineer Sam, did we miss the week? What did we miss?
We missed the preview, bro. We missed the preview. I think I think something happened. Like Christmas happened, and then I didn't call you. You didn't call me.
Yeah,
some shit didn't happen.
Some big holiday.
Sorry,
happened,
subscribers. Sorry. We got a bit slack.
We do apologize, but as we said, Merry Christmas. I hope you had a lovely day. We know it's trying times for people like us in tier 4, X, Y, and Z. But I hope you made the most of it and managed to spend it with some form of family. So yeah, man, we're back at it, man. Who's in the building today? Oh, what's that you drinking there? Is that a dragon? Yeah,
little Kloppenberg thing.
Oh, okay. Last week it was food in the microwave and cooking up the all sorts. Now it's drinking alcohol. You know what I mean? Yeah, keep them off screen anyway. They don't endorse us anyway. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm playing. Nah. But Merry Christmas, boys. All had a good Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Decent. Yeah, man.
Yeah, good, man. Good.
And the meat sweats and everything.
Till today.
Well, we're going to get into that. Anyway, say hello, boys. Mr. Hills, how you doing, brother?
Listen, blessed, man. I'm ready to buy tier 4, but I'm here, back again to get,
in the kitchen.
IQ. Man, like Professor Paul in the building. What?
Evening, chaps. How's it going?
All in white, looking like Black Jesus.
No, do you know who he looks like? All he needs is a turtleneck, and then he looks like Mark Morrison. Come on.
We're turning the Mac.
Man, like Bajan Bruce in the building. What you saying?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I there, man. I just lime in.
And of course, come on, my brothers, say it with me. The man the pod could not do without. My right-hand man, Engineer Sam in the building.
Evening, chaps. Evening. Big shout out to Paul for rushing home. Good to have you on, mate.
Yeah, from the shops.
Yeah. I won't tell your guy Boris. I'm not gonna say shit, okay?
From the shops, yeah.
Anyway, boys, let's get to it. Obviously, game played today. Liverpool, West Bromwich Albion. Final score was 1-1, and I think it's definitely a game of two halves. That old, what do you call it, cliche? Because let's go from the top, man. Big Sam. His first proper game, let's say, because I think his first game, he was only there for a day or two. I think we all knew what to expect from a Sam Allardyce side, especially a side that's in trouble down at the bottom. How did the game start for you, Bajan Bruce?
Oh, it's up to me. That's cool. You know what? For me, the game started off exactly how I wanted it to start off, if I'm honest. We had the ball. We looked comfortable. They were open from the very start. So I was, if I'm honest with you, I was pretty pleased. Where I started to get vexed was where we weren't taking our chance. We weren't taking our chances. I don't know about you boys, but I thought Robbo was on some stuff today. Yeah, putting that ball in that corridor of uncertainty, and like no one was gambling on getting there. Like I was baffled. Like,
is that the price that you pay, Paul, for not having like an out and out number 9, if you like? When those balls are coming into the box from wide areas, there's nobody really 100% gambling.
No, because we score loads of goals like that. That's our main attacking threat is wingers. I mean, the fullbacks. And then Mane's good with his head, and Salah doesn't mind stabbing it home. So it's weird because I thought we started off pretty well. And like, some teams who you're going to play against that low block, so if you pass too slow, you're not going to get anywhere. But we passed it quick, a bit like the Tottenham game. Not as quality as the Tottenham game and inventive, but we were passing it quite quick. We took the lead, and then I think we kind of got caught between a rock and a hard place. Like we weren't really pushing with much inventiveness and skill for the second, but at the same time we were still pushing, so we were leaving ourselves exposed. So we can get into that in the second half anyway. When you come back to me, yeah.
Chris, did West Brom surprise you in any way, shape, or form?
No, and that's one of the most annoying aspects of it. Like the gentleman said, we all know what Sam Allardyce is going to come with. Hope they get relegated. Hate that team. Hate that manager. But I think we were okay up until about 30 minutes to go, and then we seemed to run out of ideas and started getting repetitive. And the thing that annoyed me about this game is not even necessarily the performance, is that we gave them the opportunity to score. And that's how these teams, Sam Allardyce teams, win games or draw games. They stay in it long enough for you to assist them in getting a goal. And that's what we did. We helped them out. I mean, we could have just played the ball around for 30 minutes.
Chris, see on WhatsApp, that's what I was saying. I kept saying, like, Klopp was letting us, when we're pushing forward and we've got possession, we were defending 1 against 1. There's no need. We were 1-0 up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like attacking football, but because we rely on our I keep calling wingers, fullback so much, there's no real license and real freedom for your Joneses and your Wijnaldums to actually push forward. I mean, they could if they wanted to, but I reckon they know also if they lose it, then Trent is right next to him or Robertson's right next to him.
You know what I mean? Bajan Bruce button, man. Don't be button.
You know what, yeah, boys? I hear what you're saying, but you guys are talking, in my view, you're talking from a second half perspective. Like, I didn't see West Brom at once in the first 45 do anything. I seen them get the ball at times at the back. Matt Phillips just tried to play it up the top. No one's there, coming straight back at them. We pretty much had the ball for 45 minutes of the first half.
But Leroy, that's what the issue was, though. That's what the issue was. We had the ball for 45 minutes and we actually didn't do that much with it. We didn't actually create one clear-cut chance. Apart from the crosses, which were going across the 6-yard box, which no one was gambling on, we didn't create anything in the first half.
And that's the thing.
So it was almost the opposite of last week with Palace. We were creating chance after chance. There was nothing there. The so it's like we had the ball almost for nothing for the majority of that half.
Do you know what, Sam, though? In our defence, yeah, I feel like people forget how hard it is to create when you have 10 men standing in front of you. The pockets of space, they're just not there. You need those pockets of space to play the link-up play. I mean, let's go to the goal for argument's sake. Let's go to Mane's goal, right? I mean, what a goal it was at that. But if you look, that goal comes from just a split second of poor concentration from the West Brom defender, the fellow who scores, I forget his name.
Ajayi, I think it is.
Ajayi, yeah. A split second, he doesn't concentrate. Mane gets in. Matip sees it. And kudos to Matip for seeing that pass. Wait, hold on. And he plays a fizzer of a pass. That pass Mane had no right controlling that pass with his chest the way he did. If the ball gets fizzed in that, you're expecting it to bounce off the player a little bit and go slightly ahead of him. Me personally,
nice.
The way he controls, and I'm saying that in that instance, that was just that split second. And Mane test control.
You're right, Slim. But do you know what that is? Do you know what was interesting about what you said? You mentioned that Matip fizzed the pass in to one of the forwards. That didn't happen any other time in the half. That's my point. Okay. So you know them balls that we fizz into the strikers, that we get the touch around the corner, we go for the 1-2s, we go for flips. It didn't happen.
Okay, but this is why it didn't happen. This is why hold on a second. One second, Paul. This is what I'm trying to explain why it didn't happen. Because the spaces for that to happen weren't there. West Brom didn't allow us the space to do that.
This is why I disagree. Because when we had this debate last week about people like Keita and people like Minamino, and people like they've got the ability. You go to. I remember going to five-a-side a couple of years ago, but with your mates, Chris. They didn't know me, and I was saying, "Pass it to me," and they were going, "You're marked." I'm like, "Fuck you, man! I will twist this man up. Pass it into me. I'll back into him because I've got the ability. Because I've got the ability, and these players, and we don't. This is obviously we're a great team, but we don't go through the middle enough, and we don't trust certain players enough. Then last week, Keita got the ball straight through the middle, fizzed in, goal. Even today, Matip, whether it's a defensive mistake or
There
not,
wasn't enough of that today. There wasn't
you
enough
have
of
to
that
play
today.
like that sometimes.
Guys watching, yeah, if you didn't know, Paul is that person. Oh, I would have been a professional footballer if I didn't injure my knee. He's that guy.
If it wasn't for my duty in Falklands before when I lost my knee. No, I'm just saying.
No,
that,
Paul. No, jokes aside. I see your point. I get the point you're making. I understand the point.
And we rely on the
you're saying that
no,
you're basically saying we should play under pressure. They should be good enough to handle a ball fizzed in with a man behind them.
But you know what, Slim?
I understand that. Go on, Chris.
You know what, Slim? I take on board what everybody's saying, but for me, it's part of game management, because game management sometimes people think, well, you're under pressure and what's the name, and then you just hold on to the ball. I think at some point you get to, there are games where you're not making that progress. You're not, as I said, penetrating the low bucket, as you say, and you got to understand you just got to keep the ball. Because I reckon if we'd have kept the ball, if we'd have shown a bit more patience, they would have come out looking for that goal, and we would have picked them off. Do you know what I mean? It's what Mourinho's doing now.
That wouldn't have been
now.
So
say that again?
that would, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that wouldn't have been to the second half. I agree
Yeah,
with
that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Last 30 minutes.
What I agree with you on, Chris, is the fact that we fell for me, it's annoying for me. I felt we fell for the oldest trick in the book. Their plan was to stay in the game as long as they could. If they got pumped 3-0 in the first half, then cool. We've lost to a team that's gone 68 or whatever games unbeaten.
I think it's like 67. I think today was 67.
It's not that deep, is it? Really, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. However, if you stay in the game, you can build off it. That's what it is. But I just felt like, for me, them guys like Robbo was putting balls in there. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with our strike. All right, that Furlong today.
Do you know what? As you're going to say, I'm going to ask you the question. There was a couple of times where the ball came in and Mo Salah was on the end of it, but didn't quite get on the end of it. Do you think, Brazen Bruce, that he should have actually thrown himself at it?
Yeah, I do believe he should do that. But you know what? Everyone would tell me that's not him, but he should be doing that, man.
This is what I was asking. This is what I was asking about the out and out number 9, because although we do score goals from crosses from the wide area, I personally find the crosses from the wide area come in, and a lot of them come into an area of feet, not necessarily the corridor of uncertainty where someone runs in and taps it in like an Aguero would, you know, do you know what I mean? Or even a Haaland would, do you know what I mean? Something like that. So this is what I'm saying to you, Bruce. Do you think the fact that they're not out and out number 9s is why those chances today were missed?
Yeah, I believe them boys. In fact, when I think about it, how many of them sort of goals have we scored? Like, when you actually think about it, like,
there's a reason.
There's
a reason for that, though, because the elephant in the room is the creativity is only coming from one of our fullbacks at the minute. I think Trent is off form.
I'd co-sign that. Yeah, I'd co-sign that.
His delivery is not great at the minute. Usually he's whipping in balls that you can't defend, and he hasn't done that in a couple of games, in a little while actually. I'd say, and I think that's part of the problem. The onus to be creative is on Robertson at the minute, because Trent is not doing it. I mentioned Thiago in the thing, and I know Paul made a good point about not trying to diminish what the team has been doing. But as I was saying to you guys before we jumped on, it's like we kind of lack somebody to create that one bit of genius at the minute in our midfield. Genie frustrated me today in his performance. And I felt even a Fabinho in midfield would have had a bit more quality into the box, like some of these little dinks over the top and stuff like that. I thought it was we lacked a bit of quality.
Don't you think, lads, Chris, don't you think we've started to do that a bit too much lately? Like, we're playing forwards quite quickly in these quite narrow balls. That I know Mane's movement's great. No, when Christensen got sent off at Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, but sometimes it's
obvious. Yeah, it's a bit obvious.
We are playing those balls quite a bit, but I feel like we're playing these balls a lot after a passage of play, in the sense of not even passage of play, a passage of passing, where we're passing the ball round the back, to the sides, back to the sides, and then eventually it works its way out to a right winger-ish position, to where Henderson's looking for a ball to the back post, or you're getting that straight ball over the top where Mane's making a run from outside in, or Salah. And I think that, to me, that ball comes out of a bit of frustration, if you like. We're playing, we can't see the holes. So then we know as we're playing from side to side, Salah and Mane are going to be making those runs. So because we can't see the holes through the middle, we play that ball over the top. And it frustrates me because it doesn't bear a lot of fruit a lot of the time. I mean, it has to be inch perfect because our front three are not blessed with height. Even though Mane might be good in the air, they're not blessed with height. So there's a lot of centre backs where they're not going to necessarily win that ball. So it's not.
Slim, even as I sorry, even as I complain about us not playing for the middle, in fact, we have been improving. And like I mentioned, Kate, before, Jones just 7, 8, 10 days ago, 2 bits of play through the middle against Tottenham, drove through, it ricocheted to Salah, he scored. And then the driving, he didn't really drive, but he played around the box and nicked it into Mane, and Mane hit the bar. Do you know what I mean? So it is coming. We do have the players. It was just so poor today.
Yeah,
it was so poor today.
That's what I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you, Engineer Sam, and I'm going to ask you, what was missing from our game in the second half? Why we didn't come and put it to bed?
We was complacent. There was a lack of intensity. And it's almost like we thought we could see the game out without putting 100% in. And for me, I feel like there are certain games this season where we look like that. And we did it in the first half versus Fulham, where we just didn't turn up at all. And second half today, we looked like we were coasting. And I don't know where that's come from. I didn't see anyone geeing anyone up on the pitch. I didn't see anyone sort of getting hold of everyone saying, hold on, what's going on, lads? Because it was like 1-0 would have been enough. Now, we're all sitting there in a group and we're watching this and we can see what's coming because they've come out in the second half and straight away you can see they've pushed further up the pitch and they're actually trying to hit their balls longer, quicker. And I thought to myself, well, hold on. If we're seeing this, surely Klopp can see this and surely the players can feel that we haven't created enough. 2 shots on target today, by the way, 2. To actually get that second goal and done the game. And for me, that all revolved around the complacency. I don't know what was said at half time, but it wasn't enough. We didn't come out with the fire in our bellies to 15 minutes of a mad splurt, wicked, finish the game, done. They came out with that energy. And so when they scored, I wasn't vexed. I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, well, what have we done to stop this?
I was vexed.
I was vexed at full time because I thought, like, this is fucked and it's a poor result.
I was surprised.
When the goal came, I was like, it's been coming, man.
I was surprised.
And when you see a goal coming from West Brom, come on, man.
It's the way it's happened. It's the way it's happened. Young Jones. Young Jones has been great, so I'm not going to lay into him, but showed a bit of naivety. Has a tendency, like a few of our players, to hold onto the ball a little bit too long. He had a situation where he was comfortable, drove past a couple of players and could have laid it off or moved, but for some reason decided to hang on to it. And then we got in trouble from there. That's what it started from.
It was the pass, Chris. Well, I don't understand. This is the thing. Like, it's like you're going back to kids' football. Do you know what I mean? Like, you still encourage the kids to pass it. That's why the FA rules make the kids go back to the halfway line so people can get a touch of the ball. So he's playing football the way he learned. He's comfortable. You see Trent back heel it on the line stand, just pass it out. That's football, modern day football. But the pass was so skewed. Like, what was he looking at? There's something from God just gave us some curse today because that's 99 times out of 100 he's passing that simply to someone. It's like he chose the hardest pass, I think.
Do you know what?
I think it's sorry. Let me just say quickly. I think it's the negative side of confidence. So he's a confident young man, which we encourage, but there are occasions where it can turn into arrogance, and I think he was a bit casual there for my liking, and I think that was just that. I'm not going to hold it against him because he's made massive progress. And
let's have a quick debate. Wording. My wording was dumb rather than arrogant. It was just a dumb pass. It was the wrong pass. It was stupid. It was, but I put it down to him overconfidence for me. It was in a situation.
But that revolves around complacency as well, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I agree with you. Complacency, arrogance. All come from the same place, man. They all live in the same home.
That was systematic throughout the whole second half for the whole team. So I'm not even going to go at Jones. It was him in that particular
I'm not going at him.
Caused the goal, but the whole team was like that in the second half.
Yeah, it annoyed me because it was avoidable. That's the only thing.
Nah,
I mean, the whole
Go on, Bajan Bruce. What are you gonna say,
you
bro?
know what, yeah? Quickly, just one of the things, we're talking about the fact that we're not coming through the middle and all that, yeah? And I'll hold my hands up and give Big Sam credit, yeah? I know he's looked at us, and actually what was pissing me off was this man got into the job and he got it last week. So I was like, shit, he's going to have a whole week with this team. He's going to drill them. Yeah,
I think the same thing.
I swear down, I thought, if we got them last week, yeah, it'd have been cool. But he's had a week with them. And what he actually done, which was genius, he actually said, cool, let them come down the sides and we're going to deal with it when it comes in. And if you look, yeah, wave after wave after wave, it wasn't you have to actually look at it and think, right, these guys weren't gambling, but they know these guys ain't going to come in for that like that. And anything else, these boys are cleaning up.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think it was genius. I don't think it was genius.
What do you think they've done
I think we played shit. He just parked the bus and we played shit.
I agree with Paul. It wasn't. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think. Hold on.
Genius is a strong word. That's all.
Hold on.
He's done a number on us.
No, genius is a strong word.
He got lucky.
If you actually deep it, we actually could have lost today. That guy had beat Reece Williams. He's slow as shit, Reece Williams. I don't care what you tell me. He's slow as shit. Balls come through. If that guy finishes, that's a goal, bro. Now, whether or not if they were going to then defend from that, I'm not having it. You know what I find, yeah? I actually have to, I'm sorry. When I see something, I'm a football fan first. I've got to give Big Sam credit, bro. He has forced us to play that way. You think?
Okay, but credit. One second, boys. 1 second. Credit. Of course, you always give managers and players credit where credit is due. But credit and genius is.
I don't think it was genius, but it's something. The truth is somewhere between.
Listen. Hold on, Bajan Bruce. Me and you could go into a job at a top football club and just drill them to defend and produce that performance. Yeah, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. What is genius is
unbeaten at home.
Yeah,
at least 44 of those games, 50 of those games would have been low block. They all had the same idea. Do you know what I mean? It's everyone does it. You low block and you take the chance and you hope that you get away with it. We played crap.
But how many teams? When you actually think about the West Brom, Furlong's concentration today was fantastic.
Great defending.
Which was a genius move by Mane. Yeah, Mane's got that move on him. Boom. Well, it's not even him. It was the other fella that's lost him. But after that, he was on it every little bit. To me, Mane was at the game. I actually felt Mane was. Second half.
I think Mane disappeared. I would agree with you.
That guy was on him, bro. They're getting frustrated, and that's where I felt in the second half. People like someone like Salah, I was expecting to. I wanted to see them. Where is that old Salah that was like?
That's what I was going to back you up there, Lee. We were going back to like what were we lacking? You know, sometimes we're lacking someone who could just beat a man. Like Mane can go down. He can step over and go on his left, can't he? He can do bits and pieces. But I was watching Hudson-Odoi come on against Arsenal the other day. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you just need to beat him, man. If it goes back, and we go back to Trent, like we were 5 minutes ago. He used to have a little relationship with Salah, like Robertson and Mane, where Salah will encourage him to go to the bar line and he'll do his bits. But he doesn't even bother. I'm not if he thinks he's not going to get the ball. And he's now lost something. He's lost a bit of a rampage and right back sort of attitude and form, and everything is now deep because his crossing is world class. But if his crossing is a bit off, or they're set up to defend it, what else has he got to his game? Now,
I think it's got Solomon passing.
Part of it's going to have to be him.
We're not going there.
Chris, don't get me on that, you know. Don't get me on that.
I'm just saying he needs to improve his dribbling or have people. I mean, notice when he dribbles, he runs straight into people.
Yes, I noticed that today. Yeah, I noticed that today.
I think Klopp should look at them reuniting that relationship where he could just go on the overlap and Salah can play him in and just bring a little dimension to our game, extra dimension to our game, his game.
Okay. While you're also on the Salah thing, whilst the game was going on, someone put in someone's tweet about Mohamed Salah and basically said the tweet was something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, was something along the lines of, I dislike Mohamed Salah. He's a horrible footballer. He reminds me of the kid in the playground who plays because he tries really hard. And I looked at that tweet and I was like, what the hell is that about? And then I let it marinate a little bit in my system. And I kind of understand what the guy's talking about when it comes to Mo Salah and his all-round footballing game. Now, hear me out. When he's part of the build-up, his weight of pass is terrible. Yeah, his passes never seem to really reach the intended target. Like they always seem to be a little bit light. And whenever he's part of the build-up, it seems to break down around him. So if the ball comes into his feet, he's getting, say, shrugged off the ball.
He takes too many touches, Slim.
Or take too many touches. So when I thought about that tweet, I said, whilst everything he said, the way he said, I don't necessarily agree with it, I can kind of understand. He's a very frustrating figure, Mohamed Salah. You give Mohamed Salah the ball in certain places, he's deadly. His record speaks for itself. But like I said, when he's part of the build-up play, for me, it just always seems to break down around him when he's involved.
You know what it is,
Slim? What you mentioned there relates to Paul's point as well about the lack of relationship with Trent. Because sometimes when it breaks down with him, he doesn't have a ball on with Trent because Trent's not making that overlap anymore. And so what he does is he literally tries to walk through three players, loses the ball, throws his arms up in the air and be like, oh shit, so we're on the counter. So I understand that. And the frustration for me is not that he's doing that, but more to the fact that he has to do that now because he hasn't got another option. And that refers to what you said, Paul, because I don't know why it stopped, but you're right. The relationship is not there. The ball that Trent used to flip down the side for Salah to run onto, and Trent would follow his pass and give him an option, doesn't do that anymore. Robertson continually does it for Mane, but the other side, it's not there. And is that because he's been told not to, or because he doesn't think he's going to get the ball back because Salah's going to try and run through three players? It's an interesting one.
You won't get the ball back. It's to go and continue with Slim's point. So I disagree with Slim slightly. I think Salah can make those passes. I think Salah has made those passes. The problem is which version of Salah you get. If you're talking about Salah, I'm trying to get my goals. He focuses so much in getting into a position to score that he half-assed the original pass. Because if you look, he's always looking for the 1-2, but not in a way that's beneficial to the team. It's literally, I'm going to half-ass this pass because I'm concentrating on getting into the right position. To continue with Paul's point, that relationship has broken down because of Salah, in my opinion, because I think I've seen Trent kind of half go up like he wants to make that run, but then Salah cuts inside and tries to dribble through three people. Do you know what I mean? It's jarring because not because he's a completely selfish player, because he can do that job, but he's just not doing it. First season, Chris, it was
he goes touch and goal, as well.
One touch passing, but now he dilly-dallies on the ball, and then I don't know what he sees when he does it, but when he runs into these people, it's a madness.
Boy, it's like it's in spells. It's in sometimes.
Chris is frozen.
I think he's been really creative this he's been really creative this season. I think Salah. I think he's been creative, but then when he's not passing, it's so obvious, and it stinks. You know what I mean? Last week wasn't it Firmino he put through with a beautiful half an hour nearly man the match performance.
Don't get me wrong. I know what he's capable of, and I'm not saying he never assists or anything like that. Nothing like that. I'm just saying there's a lot that sort of breaks down around him. And
no, we agree.
The big thing for me is his passes. His weight of passes can be so bad at times. And I think what Chris is saying could be true. He's thinking about the next thing instead of like what he is doing at the time. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes the thing he's doing at the time suffers because he's thinking about the next thing. But that was just a little.
It's annoying because it's fixable. It's annoying because it's fixable.
Well, do you know what, Chris? Everything's fixable. So, you know what? Perfect segue for me, because we were talking about Curtis Jones and the mistake he makes, which leads to the goal. Fair enough, Curtis Jones makes a mistake, but there's still a corner to defend, and we could have defended that corner better. We know how he's their main threat. His name is Ajayi. We know he's their main threat. I mean, he scored. Well, he didn't get credit for the goal, but he scored the goal against City the week before for them to get a draw there. So we know he's a threat from set pieces. We can't leave him. I think the corner before we were warned, Henderson was marking him. Henderson actually left him and he gets a run. It's like I think Fabinho gets it clear. So there were warning signs, and we let him go and he scores a goal in off the post. I guess you could say West Brom deserved it. It was always coming with the way that we were playing in the second half. So
they deserved it. I wouldn't go that far, but
listen, Chris, any team that can stay in the game up for 70, 80 minutes against the champions at home with a record of 66 unbeaten at home, they deserve something from the game.
Yeah, they deserve it, especially in the second half performance. They deserve it. And they you know what's funny about teams that part of the bus? Do you remember Tottenham the other week as well? When they came out to play, they troubled us. Like some teams, the attitude of some, and that's why we're winning titles, and other teams won't, because you still need to play football. You still they were like the better luck, I would say. Do you know what I mean?
But I'm just confused as Engineer Sam as to where the dominance went. Like where in the was it the injury to Joel Matip? Did that affect the teams so much that we lost?
No.
I'm trying to find where did the dominance?
I don't think
where did we lose the dominance?
We came out the second half and we just weren't with it. We weren't assertive. We didn't impose our game on anyone, and we didn't actually create anything. Yeah, the injury may have disrupted us, but it didn't change the direction of the game because they were playing well already. You know what I mean? They'd come out and they were playing well. And they said, you know what, we're going to have a go now. And that's fair enough.
Who was on the bench? Who was on the bench, Sam?
Everyone apart from Keita. So Shaq was there, Milner was there. Let's not go into Keita, but yeah. Everyone was there. I was surprised. I was surprised that Shaq didn't get a shout because we had no creativity at all. You put him in a 10, you never know.
Well, do you know what? Yeah, but you know what? Hindsight is a beautiful thing, and he brought Ox on, and at the time, I wasn't too mad that Ox came on because Ox came on and he tried to do what Ox does. Yeah, he tried to drive, and he tried to take shots.
Given Shaq's injury record and the fact that he ain't played, I'm not surprised he didn't come on. That, do you know what I mean? It's not Ox is ahead of the rest of them in terms of training. So,
what about
I'm not surprised he came on.
Paul, you're talking about Minamino. Who is he going to come on for?
Anyone. Look, this is the question was, what was the what went wrong? Sim's looking for a reason. It died down. Substitutes there for a reason.
Yeah, but they've got substitutes.
You've got to be a bit more explicit, Paul. You can't just say he's going to go on for anyone. Who's he going to come on for, and how is he going to affect the game? You know, when Ox comes on, you know what he's going to try to do. What is Minamino going to try to do, and in what position? That's what you got to kind of clarify.
That is the question, isn't it, Bajan Bruce? Because I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain
it was asked to me the question. Let me answer the question.
No. Oxlade-Chamberlain.
He's basically saying you talk too much, bruv.
10 seconds, come on.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Give me a shot, Bruce. Give me a shot.
Stop, Paul. Can play in the middle of a free, can't he? But you bring on a Minamino, he can't do that role in the middle of a free. So Minamino, not really the answer, is he, Bajan Bruce?
Nah.
Oh, what?
Nah, not Minamino.
He scored last week.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, me myself, I'm with you, Slim. I actually thought when he pulled Ox's card, I thought, okay, let's see. But you know what?
10 minutes ago,
man, the geezers, the touch today, like. It was mad. Like it was.
Whose touch?
Ox's. Like Ox came on. There was a point when he tried to have a little run. He's knocked the ball about 25 yards ahead of himself. It was.
So Lee, let me poly with you then, Lee. Yeah, let me poly with you. You've just said that Ox's touch was a bit off. He's only played 10 minutes or 15 minutes last week. Taki Minamino, he's been getting pelters because of his form. I tried to defend him by saying he's not playing the right position. He got to play in the right position, and he scored the most important goal of any football match, the first one, last week. He goes on the bench this week, and then doesn't get a look in. I fucking hate that shit. To me, that's dumb.
But Paul, you're saying he can only play in a free up front, right? So he had to come on for Firmino.
Take off Salah. Take off Firmino.
Really? We're chasing a goal?
That's never going to happen.
That's wild.
That's never going to happen.
Who could have come on for was Firmino.
Take off Ronaldo and change formation.
Okay, do you know what?
So now you're moving the goalpost,
4-2-3-1.
Listen.
What do you mean moving the goalpost? You're asking me to explain myself, and I'm explaining myself.
Listen.
You're like, Sam, you're not.
Professor Paul, relax. Breathe,
man, breathe.
You're talking about.
Your love for Minamino is clouding your judgment, mate.
It really is.
You're talking about.
Hold on. Please, hey lads, please don't ask no more questions, please.
Sorry.
You're talking about bringing off Ronaldo, yeah? But I think you forget Ronaldo is our water boy, yeah? Ronaldo is our cover, which allows the wingers, the fullbacks to get forward. So if you're taking off someone like Ronaldo, you need to kind of bring on someone who's going to cover that work. You can't bring on a in that position.
I would have taken him off. I would have taken off Ronaldo. I thought he
theoretically, then he should never come off. He should never not play.
No.
Chris, if you take off Winnie, who'd you bring on?
I would have. Hold on. Stop.
Question. Yeah.
I would have just played Henderson as a holding because they were pretty much stuck in their own half.
Yeah, but you're not answering this question, Chris. Who'd you bring on?
Who'd you bring on?
Well, initially I would have brought on Ox earlier. Well, Minamino.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question. Like, who would you have?
Oh yeah, no. All right. So you could put Salah up front.
You want Henderson to do the holding,
and then I would have put Salah up front. I would have put Minamino on, and drop Bobby back into midfield.
And play Minamino on the right? No way.
That's
Sam was right.
Ugly. Hold on, Professor Paul. Hold on.
Okay, go on.
That's ugly, Chris. That's ugly, Chris, because I think where the short-sightedness in that comes for me is that the counter attack. If we're pushing and we've got that many attack-minded players on the pitch, the counter attack is what Klopp is wary of, from us pushing. Because at the end of the day, West Brom had 10 men behind the ball, and look what happened when that one ball came over the top. Rhys Williams was treading water, so you need your Henderson and your Wijnaldums to cover that space. Hence why you can't play a Minamino.
Is this question for at 1-0 or 1-1 when the sub? Is it 1-0?
Wait a minute.
1-0, either way, it doesn't matter.
Was Milner on the bench?
Well, it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It makes a difference. If it was at 1-0 on WhatsApp, I was like, Klopp needs to stop. Our fullbacks were still high, but it wasn't really working for us today. It's like, let's just put it on WhatsApp. Let's just kick it about. Let's just keep possession and see out the game. Obviously, it was a bad mistake. Otherwise, we would have probably seen the game out, right? But we still looks like we were pushing. So if you're going to push for it, but your team are not performing the way you want them to, which is pushing for a second goal, make a change.
Yeah, do you know? I hear your point. I think what the thing is what change to make. But like I said, hindsight is a wonderful thing. So it's easy.
Yeah, I was about to say you got to be careful, man.
Because you have to be careful. It was a precarious position at 1-0 to change it, and you lose a goal. It's a rock and a hard place.
At 1-0, I wanted it to stay as it was.
Sometimes the bad performance is just a bad performance. We've won like 85% of in that run. I think we've won about 80 to 85% of the games we've played. So. And we've discussed it often, we're not entitled to anything. We have to go out and win. Sometimes you can't expect the late winner every time. But what we could have done is held onto the ball a bit better, and that would have seen out the game. But I'm not going to go into tactics or that person could have come on earlier or whatnot, because really and truly, the people on the pitch, the team on the pitch should have won the game. It can't always be laid at the manager's doorstep. You got to perform sometimes, and the players didn't perform. Like he said, so many players underperformed in the second half. For me, I've had this discussion with Paul loads of times. When it gets to that point where the team is not performing well, I think you have to look at the players rather than the coach. And when you include our record at home, I think the players definitely dropped the ball. I don't think that was coaching.
Do you know what, Chris? That is the perfect way to kind of summarize partly in today's game, because you can't always lay the blame at the manager's door. Sometimes you have to look to the players. We just have to take that one as a bad performance. I feel it was said. Hold on a second. I think it was said a few times that we got what we deserved. I said at the start of the pod, it was a game of two halves. First half, we were absolutely brilliant. We haven't really discussed how brilliant.
Wait. We're nowhere near brilliant.
Okay. All right. I won't use the word brilliant.
In control.
It's going to offend. We were in control. We were perfectly in control of the game. Yeah, it was in our destiny to what happened. Second half came out. Don't know what happened. Complacency. I don't know what you want to call it. But
Leroy, what was you going to say, bro?
You know, I want to throw two things into this mix, but I'll do the other. The first thing I'll say is, see, we were talking about this complacency. If I'm honest, when you look at it, we've dropped points, to the two clubs that are at the bottom of the league, bro. That tells me that the team is actually coming out thinking we're going to win. The only difference I've seen today in our first half performance was the fact that they were like, we're not going to let these lot get on top of us how we let Fulham, So we've done what we've done there. Then it's like, wow, we've had all the ball. We're comfortable. We'll ride this one out. And then from that, when that sets in, I don't care. I actually even feel Big Sam's even thought, you know what? Them boys in there are going to be like saying, yeah, more of that second half. But our plan now is to kick in on my little game plan and do this. That's what's happened. But I don't know, you lot. One question I want for you lot. I was pissed with the Curtis mistake, you know? You know why I was pissed with it? It was something that Paul was saying. But my thing is this. When I've trained myself, when I played at a level, when you then coach kids, you tell them about this running across your goal business. Like,
yeah, it's true.
I don't know what's going on there. To me, he is so relaxed at times. It's too much. Like that, the top boys are conscious of where they're at and what they're doing. He's just
it a lot. He does it a lot.
He's really just he's too.
Does he do it? Does he do it a lot?
But he does. But the thing is, the reason why I mentioned it because I don't want to take that away. I don't want to take that confidence away from him. But I think he needs. It's like I said, he's 19, so he will learn. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
It pissed me off.
He needs to be spoken to about it. Like, mate,
remember, Chris. This is why because I can see. Remember, we are.
And thank you, Engineer Sam, for opening up the trapdoor again as I was just wrapping it up.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, lads.
He was itching to speak, man. He was itching to say something. So I was like,
boys, can we analyze every minute bit of football these days? Because it's there. We're doing our podcast. We watch podcasts, and it's instant, blah, blah, blah. We do, like, Stephen Gerrard was making these mistakes into his mid-20s, famously.
Thank you for that.
Do you know what I mean?
That YouTube video I did before. Really
helped. I had to do it, but not to like defend him, but just to put a bit of context, right? He's played, 11 games? Gerrard done it.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody was that Paul.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not a big surprising thing he done something like that. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a major surprise.
Let me be honest. To go on the back of what Bajan Bruce is saying is that I see it was a concern to me before.
Take the wheel. Take the wheel, bro. Take the wheel. Take it. Take it. Take it. If these two start talking,
I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a party pooper. I didn't want to be I just a single point now. I said I didn't want to be a party pooper and rain on the young guys' parade. Like I said, these are young guys learning. But I have noticed it a few times, and I'm like, you don't want to be doing that. I like the confidence, but it's a bit too much.
I agree with you, Chris. He's a young boy. He's going to make mistakes, and some are going to be costly, others not so. Today turned out to be a little bit costly. But again, today's result doesn't lay on the doorstep of one player. It lays on the doorstep of all of them. It's a team game. Win together, we lose together. I don't think we, like I tried to say earlier, we didn't do our job in the first half, and we didn't come out of the change rooms practically in the second half. So we got what we deserved. 1-1 draw. We didn't lose. We're still top of the tree. You know, the silver lining would be the result that has just gone. Spurs
1-1.
Spurs finished 1-1. Yeah. But before I go into the Spurs game, we have to go back to Saturday's fixtures because looking at the table, our nearest rivals as it stands are Manchester United, who went to Leicester on Saturday and drew the game 2-2. Now, the interesting thing about that game was two things for me. One, Manchester United can't hold a lead. And two, Brendan Rodgers being able to bring his team back into the game.
Oh,
I'm saying,
you want to open this up, bro?
Paul, listen, relax. Listen. I swear to you, yeah. If man them make me lose control of the thing, yeah, I'ma start. Hey, listen, I'ma come to your house, yeah. Listen, relax, yeah.
Hey,
Let's have a civilized debate.
I will end your videos. I will end
Thank
your
you.
videos.
Thank you,
you, Paul, and you, Chris. I will end your videos. Be warned. Yeah. Be warned.
Let me get to it now, boys. Okay. Right. Very interesting debate in our WhatsApp group about Leicester's manager, Brendan Rodgers. I'm going to ask Bajan Bruce to kick this off. Is Brendan Rodgers a specialist in failure, or has he just failed at being a specialist?
Well, firstly, his name's Brenda, yeah? It's Brenda.
Oh.
that gives you an
Paul,
idea.
Paul, let him speak. No ad libs, please. Let the man speak.
Yeah, it's Brenda, and he's a failure, man. Don't get me started on this guy, bro.
Tell me why you class him as a failure.
So basically, this is what it is, isn't it? The guy will get you to a point, yeah, where you're like, as a team, you're thinking to your fans, you're thinking, yeah, man, let's do the thing. You fall flat in the face, and it's dead. Every time they've come, last season they had that thing for Champions League push. It was in there. It was within their thing. Brock it up. With us, don't even get me started on with us. But you know what? The situation with us, I actually see it as a silver lining. I'd have loved for Steven Gerrard to have picked up that gong and got himself a little Premier League medal. However, you imagine if he had won that would have bought him time at our club. We wouldn't have had Klopp and we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. So, like I say, boy, God works some mistakes.
Fair enough. Paul, I want to ask you a question, but you not letting a man speak. Don't butt in on a man's piece. You know what? I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to come to you, Paul. Are these feelings about Brendan Rodgers from Liverpool fans just because of what happened when he was managing our club?
Listen,
who's that to me?
Paul.
First of all, I have to say I expect better from Bajan Bruce, because Brucey's one of the best armchair pundits I know. He's analytical. He's fair. I'm being serious. And I think the giveaway is the fact that he called him Brendan. People call him Brenda. It's kind of like a fashion thing for me. Do you know what I mean? And it's out of context. The context is Brendan Rodgers is still a relatively young coach. It wasn't the best team at Liverpool, and we had a lot. And it was Suarez show. But he looks like he liked the attack. He realised attacking football was the best form of defence for us, and we had a go. Didn't work out. He flopped at Palace, the main one. Remember, he took off Sturridge and Sterling at 3-1 when we could have won, and he forgot his ethos of attacking to win games. So anyway, yeah, he's got mistakes in him. I can't defend Leicester's drop last year, isn't it, guys? The point system.
Yeah.
But I'm still maintaining. He's a coach, manager, whatever. He'll have a hand in some of these players. They've bought some decent players. He's improving some players. They look like they have a system in place. And the way I describe an elite manager or someone who's doing a good job is being pretty consistent in the league with a pretty identical way of playing football. And that's Brendan Rodgers. I think he's a very good coach, man. I don't know why he gets dissed. He manages Leicester City.
So quick one. Sorry, Slim. I just want to ask him one simple thing, yeah? So with Brendan, yeah? Not Brenda.
Respect, G.
Right,
I do love you.
Right. Now, the question is this. This man has his way of playing, yeah? This is what killed me at Liverpool. He got rid of Angela Carroll. Now, Angela wasn't someone I wanted in the beginning, yeah? But he got rid of him and said he's not part of how I want to play football. Cool. We lose Suarez, obvious reasons, goes to Barcelona and all that, yeah? So what does this guy do? He gets Balotelli, Ricky Lambert, yeah? And Benteke. They're all big forwards. What is this? What is this?
Bruce,
please.
I can't defend that. But I have
what
to.
That is, bro.
Okay, wait, Paul. If you're not gonna defend that, I'm gonna defend it.
Okay,
Brazen Bruce. We know. Do you know what? That's a good shout, Paul. That overall, that's in the past. But anyway, let me defend that. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm gonna defend that though. Where you're saying he bought Ricky Lambert, Balotelli, I think you're forgetting we had a transfer committee long before Jurgen Klopp came on. So were those buys his? Probably not. If he said he wanted to get rid of them because that's not the way he wanted to play football, he wouldn't buy in another couple of big men. Those buys were probably the transfer committee saying, "Look, you need strikers. This is what you have." So we can't sit down and say Brendan Rodgers bought those players in. We don't know. The committee's been there in place long before Klopp got there, and Klopp is still working with a committee. So that would be my answer to that. But anyway, hold on. I think that's secondary to what Paul is saying. Yeah, I think the question I'm asking, do Liverpool fans harbour bad feelings towards Brendan Rodgers because of his Liverpool days? I think the answer to that question is yes. Yeah. Because I'm agreeing with Paul. I believe he's a great coach. He has identity of the way he wants to play. He wants to play attacking, great flowing football that Leicester play. and that we played under Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, we shipped a shitload of goals, but the attacking side of our football was amazing. Our attack was so good. That's why we lost the league that year, because he was so intent on attacking. And I think he's grown since then, and he's learned since then. Yeah, he's been to Scotland, where you could say arguably it's not the greatest league, but he still had to win it. He's won it, so he would have learned things.
We're not going to complain if Gerrard wins the league, and we're going to use that as a what's the word?
Why he should be the Liverpool manager?
A reason to. We won't complain. I won't complain.
I agree with you, Paul.
Football matches.
I agree with you, Paul. But go on. I think Chris is on the other side of the coin, and so we want to hear from Chris and Sam on this subject as well. So go on, Chris. You first.
I think Brendan Rodgers is like thinking you've got a deal on a nice pair of Gucci loafers, and you get them home and you realize the buckle's made out of paper mache. He is.
I demand rebuttal after this. Carry on.
So for me, he's a good coach. He has a level. He's just not, in my opinion, he's just not at the level that Paul and Slim seem to think he is. I think he coaches a great.
Wait, hold on. Before what level did we say he was at? I don't recall any of us saying he was of a certain level.
Okay, fair enough. You didn't, but I'm just going on what the assumption is on what you think level you think he's at. For me, he will always coach a team up to a point, but they'll inherit his flaws, right? And I think like I said, he's got good ideas when it comes to attacking football, but I think his philosophy is incomplete. I think he's working with half a manual. You know, you watch them Kung Fu films back in the day, and they got like half the technique, and the next man teeth half the book. He hasn't got the final moves of the technique. You know what I'm trying to say?
Is there a reason for that, Chris? Is that because could it be? You know what it is? Because in history, in the future,
Let me finish.
Yeah, go on.
Let me finish, Paul. So you'll see it in this Leicester team. So this Leicester team, for me, good teams will win most of their games, look like they're winning most of their games. They'll lose the odd game. They might lose 1 or 2 games, and then the manager will step in and correct it. You'll see this Leicester team. They'll have winning streaks and losing runs. They'll lose like 3-4 games in a row. That doesn't happen to teams with good coaches.
Chris, can we say something, mate?
Wait,
that's not fair. That's not fair.
Wait, let me finish.
Wait, Paul.
And it happens in his teams consistently.
Okay,
can I just say
he's good?
No, Paul. Paul, wait, hold. Hold your answers, because I want to know what side of the fence Sam's sitting on as well.
Sorry.
So go on, Sam.
I'm totally with Chris. Don't get me wrong, my view is skewed by his time at Liverpool, and I can openly admit that, because I still harbour bad feelings to the man over what happened. And that nearly season, it scars me now. That I haven't been back to Selhurst Park since that day. You know, I can't go back. I was at that game, and the walk home for me there was a lot of eye water. You know what I mean? So I do have bad feelings there because of that. However, what Chris so eloquently put is the fact that he can take a team up to a certain point. When he was at Liverpool, we believed he could take us past that point, and we didn't know that there was an actual tipping point which he couldn't go past. Yeah, and that was because he couldn't not take us to the title. He couldn't coach a team to be defensively sound enough, to win a title. You can coach an attacking team all day long, and I love watching his teams play, because they do play nice, open, attractive football. But it's not going to win you a title. It's never going to win you a title. And although he may be a good coach, he doesn't necessarily strike me as a winning coach at the highest level. And for me, the highest level is the Premier League. And last season, for me, the collapse of Leicester was symptomatic of what he is. Yeah, and he just lost the wheels. His team no longer was scoring. Yeah, and so because they weren't winning games and they weren't attacking games anymore, and they didn't know how to defend, they just automatically lost. And for me, that was the scariest thing to see, because they were miles ahead of United. But yet every time United won, I saw just a little bit of their confidence chip away. And they couldn't even go into games and grind out and say, listen, let's at least get a draw and work from there. They were just losing. Because he can't coach a defensive mentality ready to win points from a losing position, or even to start at a drawing position and take the game on from there. And for me, that's his limit. And that's why, me personally, I don't see Leicester as a threat at all. I just hope they take points for other teams. But in terms of challenging us, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Do you know what? I've heard your point. Hold on, Paul. I'm going to come to you. I've heard your points, but I think everything you're saying to me doesn't not make him a good coach. I didn't say
he was a bad coach.
No.
I just said I don't think he's a winning coach.
Okay, but we the question wasn't. The question is not really whether he's a winning coach. I feel like the flaws in his game can be fixed. He's still a young manager. For a manager, he's still a young manager. So I think there's a lot of space for him to grow and fix those things. I strongly believe the lack of respect for his style of play and his managerial career, it stems solely on what happened at his time at Liverpool. And his time at Liverpool, when he got the job, he weren't ready for that job. That job was bigger than him. It was 100% bigger than him. Liverpool, the expectations at Liverpool are way bigger than any club he's been at or is at the moment. So I think.
Can I stay for the facts, Slim?
Hold on. You've had your say. Me and Paul are gonna just come back now. Yeah, yeah. I think had he have not had that stint at Liverpool, this conversation would be different, and there'll be more people on our side of the fence. But go on, Paul.
Yeah. So just to finish it off, like obviously, he's still kind of young manager. So you guys could be right. Me and Slim could be right. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? Because he hasn't reached his end of his career yet. But it's got two variables for you, right? One is when people talk about winning and trophies. Now, Arteta's already read a trophy. We're not sure what he's going to make of himself yet. Brendan can go to PSG tomorrow and win the league. Do you know what I mean? Then he'd be a winning coach. What does it mean, though?
He's won trophies. He's won trophies, though, Paul.
I forget. Yeah, sorry.
At the elite level. I don't think you can call Ligue 1 and Scotland.
You didn't say that yourself, Sam. But some people have even labelled that. Remember when they were labelled that Klopp? He's no good because he hasn't won anything. We had 97 points, for example. You know what I mean? I think that sometimes that's not a good way to be. And the second thing is, and the most important thing is, just a minute ago we were moaning about not having Thiago, and we're Liverpool and we're won the league and we still want more. Who have Leicester got to be third, second in the league? Who have they got? Vardy, Tillemans. Come on,
Madison. They've got a decent attacking core. Herrera. They've got a decent attacking core to be up there.
How many? Hey, Bajan Bruce. Let me ask you a question. How many of Leicester starting 11 would make it into a Liverpool starting 11?
Leicester starting.
Slim, that's a redundant question because there's not many teams in the world that could get into our team.
No. Let man answer the question, please.
You know, for me, and I've made it clear, there's one player I would think would fit into our side, and that is the young man in the middle.
Who?
Tillemans. So you're saying, yeah, in Leroy's opinion, yeah, only Tillemans fits into our squad. So when Paul's asking you lot, who has Brendan Rodgers got? You're reading off all of these names, but yet all of these names don't get into our team. So then hold on. And so in fairness, the answer to Paul's question, who have Leicester got? Nobody really. Nobody. That's the answer. That's the point I'm making to you, Sam. That's why I'm asking you who fits into our team. Because we're the benchmark. We are the benchmark. So if no one fits into our benchmark, Brendan Rodgers is working with below standard players. Yeah. And look,
not below standard. The standard is required for his team. The standard is required for his team.
No, not below standard, but players that are not necessarily good enough to even challenge for a title. But look where he is in the league.
So that kind of is your barometer to say that he's doing quite well for himself because he's got players that really shouldn't be at that level in this league and being up there.
When Jurgen Klopp was getting miracles out of certain players and still is, we were all patting him on the back, but yet we can't do the same to another manager. That's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. It's lazy. It's lazy football analysis, armchair analysis.
Can I just make a quick to that then? Yeah. Because when you're talking about that with Klopp, yeah, what I saw happening with Brendan, I'll give Brendan this. When he first came in, you seen what he was trying to do with the team. You see the way he was trying to get us to play. And you had guys like Skirtle looking lost, yeah, because Skirtle was having to do this kind of, rather than thumping the ball up the field, he was having to do something like to pass it out. Now, hear me out, yeah. This guy with Klopp, we had 3 European Cup finals in 3 seasons. we went with we got to what a Champions League. We got to qualify for the Champions League under my man.
Yeah, but we're still with Liverpool, and I'm not saying he's good. And we're not saying he's good as Klopp either. We're saying give Rodgers a bit of context.
Yeah, but you're saying give him the same credit that we're giving Klopp. Yeah. For the
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if Klopp can take credit for making a player better, then so can Brendan. You have to give the same. The race has to be fair for every manager.
And again,
hold on. Yeah, but hold on, Leroy. You proved my point as well. You went to argue a point, and your first thing to do was to go back to under his tenure at Liverpool. Nah, that's what I'm saying to you. Your view on the guy is tainted because of the feelings you harbour for what he done when he's at our club.
Okay,
so
no, but I was trying to give you a historic thing because he's done the same thing at Leicester. The same things happened at Leicester. You see them Leicester fans, they're thinking, yeah, Champions League. No, they didn't make Champions League. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And then they bust their load early, bro. Didn't get there. It's what it is. That's what
it's a pattern. It is a pattern. It is a pattern. And the funny thing is, I get what you're saying, Slim, but I think it's impossible. You have to judge him. You have to judge him on his past jobs. The fact that one of those jobs was Liverpool. For me, I'm not mad at the guy. I love the way the guy plays football. I just think he has his place. And to me, you have to prove you're elite. You have to prove that you're capable of doing that. And all I'm saying is, from my perspective, I'm not talking for nobody else. The jury is still out on whether he's capable of becoming an elite manager. That's my argument on it. I'm not saying he's rubbish. He plays fantastic football.
I've got to wrap this Brendan Rodgers thing up. Do you know what, guys? Down in the comments on our Instagram, let us know. Brendan Rodgers, good coach or bad coach? You've heard our arguments. You know where we stand.
Or fake Gucci.
Let's hear where you stand. Yeah. But whether you think he's a good manager or a bad manager, Leicester managed to come back twice in their game and draw 2-2 with Manchester United, which is always good. We thank him for that. At least.
Thank you, Brendan.
We're all united on that.
He did. That was a fun time. That was a fun time when we was on that run. It was.
Listen, yeah, I'm gonna run through because time is of the essence. So I'm gonna run through these games and I'm gonna get the view of one of you for each of these games. Yeah. So, Paul, yeah, your time will come, my brother. Bajan Bruce, Manchester United. Do we have to start taking them seriously, and can they mount a title challenge?
We have to take them seriously because at the minute they're there, but I don't think they can really mount one as such. But when they're there and thereabouts, you got to give them the respect in it. But overall, I just think as long as they've got Ollie at the wheel, they're gonna have to.
Be more specific. What is it about Ollie's management that you think is not gonna allow them to cut it?
So what it is, they'll go maybe 2-3 games. And they'll drop points, they'll lose or something. But then that game where you expect, if he loses, you think, if he loses this one, he's in big trouble. He wins it or gets a good result out of it. So then it kind of takes the pressure off him again for a couple of weeks.
Resets it, yeah.
Yeah, if they keep doing that, I think they've already missed their opportunity to sign Poch, to be fair, because I think he's going to go to things. So, yeah. They're united, innit? But I still have a bit of a worry for City, if I'm honest. I know people kind of writing them off, but
don't go into City. You stick to United. You're the pundit for United now, my brother.
They're there, but they're not sticking with us. I'm sorry. I'm being real.
Okay, fair enough. I feel United's defense is still too much of a shambles. I mean, to go ahead in the game against Leicester twice and to lose it twice that's not good enough. That's not title winning credentials in my opinion. But hey, 2-2 Man United. The next game I want to go to. Let's go to Sam Shout for the season. Let's go to Chelsea. They played North London Red, as they're so fondly known, and they actually went down. They actually went down 3-1. What's the problem with Fat Frank, Sam? Does he need more money or more pies? What's going on?
Give him the pies, bro. Give him the pies. I'm actually regretting shouting them now. Like I was so disappointed in them yesterday, and slightly I was happy for Arsenal fans because they've been in some serious sufferation recently, and it's good for them to get 3 points and to just make that gap between them and Brighton just a little bit more comfortable. But Jesus H, he can't get a tune out of that quality of players. That's embarrassing.
They're calling him Timo Welbeck at the moment. That's his new name. I think they're calling him.
Who is that disrespect to though? Because Danny can hit some goals, man.
I think they're disrespecting Danny Welbeck. If you
I
ask
know.
me.
I know.
What is it about Werner? What's wrong with Timo Werner? He's actually a world-class player, and he's looking like Sunday League.
They're playing him horribly out of position. Like, he didn't play on the left for Leipzig. He played through the centre, but drifted to the left. And they're playing him out on the left. His confidence is shattered because he ain't scored for however long it's been. And it's almost like they're just putting round pegs into square holes purely to get them into the team. And Frank doesn't know what to do with these guys. And I don't dub him for it, because he's a newbie. He's a new fresh manager. That level of talent, a lot of experienced managers would suffer to get the right combination out of them so soon. Yeah, but what he's doing now, it looks like he has no clue. He's throwing people on just for the sake of it. He's changing the team every week. He clearly doesn't know his best team. Yeah. I don't even know if you can call him a fraud, because he hasn't achieved anything to be pretending to be what he's not. You know, he was shit at Derby. He was just doing his job. He's like, oh shit, I've landed on my feet. I've got the Chelsea job. Yeah, I'm not really a fraud. I'm just going to try a thing. And if I don't know, I'm going to ask my man Jody Morris, who don't know shit either. So it's like, I almost slightly feel sorry for him, but he can't get a tune out of those players. So they're going to go on runs similar to Leicester. I feel they're going to get a few good wins, then they're going to lose a few again. And it's all going to look like he doesn't know what he's doing. Because when you throw them players together, there will be opportunities. There will be times when they just work because of the talent. It's not him, it's just the talent. But when the going gets tougher, when they appear, line up at a match at the Emirates, and they think, oh, it's only Arsenal, they're 15th. We beat them all the time. They're in crisis. And then they turn you over like that. No. Something's massively wrong there. Massively wrong there. You should not be getting slapped like that by Arsenal. No way.
Well, big up to the North London Red, because you get stick when you lose. So, we're going to give you props when you win, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
We appreciate the result.
I think the phrase was Laka, Xhaka, Saka. Stick that in your Christmas cracker. That's what I heard. But anyway, let's move on to Man City. Man City played Newcastle as well. Final score was 2-0. Paul, give me your assessment on Man City. I said last week that the sparkle had left Man City, and I started watching the Man City Newcastle game, and I got bored, and it was 1-0 Man City, so I turned it off. That's my honest.
Yeah, that was what put me off. We had our show last week. I said I think United looked dangerous, and then by the end of our conversation, I changed it to City. I went, "Oh, you guys have talked me into it." I don't know if it was Sam and Chris, perhaps, because they're not conceding goals at the moment, and they still have a lot of possession, and it might help them being under the radar. Do you know what I mean? And it's a strange season, and as we go past all these teams, when we talk about who's our contenders and stuff, I still believe we'll win the league by 10 points, and that's because we're extraordinary. These are not bad teams. It's not terrible to win 3 in a row and then lose one. That's quite normal in a way. Do you know what I mean? At least to challenge for a title. It's just that we've been setting the bar so high, and City were as well. They dropped off.
Do you know what? On that, Paul, a lot of people, like Sam has said it, and I think we said about Leicester as well, that they'll win some and then lose some games and stuff like that. Like you said, is that seen as bad just because of the season that we had last season and the season before?
Maybe because people were saying, oh, you have to win every game now to beat Liverpool, beat City. So we're used to that type of performance level. That is unheard of. It is unheard of, and the Prem is strong. I don't. People think I think more positive. I'm more glass half full with the talent of the teams of the Premier League. We had Tottenham and Liverpool in the final 2 years ago. We've had UEFA Cup winners. Let's see what happens at the end of the season. I predict some English teams getting quite far in the Champions League and Europa League, and it will prove our league is strong. And if we do win the league by a good few points, I think that will prove that we're just extraordinary, and these are actually very good teams that are chasing us.
So to answer the question, Man City still in the title race?
Yeah, I think they're our nearest rivals. I was convinced by who it was last week. Yeah.
Okay. Man City as it stands what are they? 6 points behind us with a game in hand, so that could be cut to 3 when all said and done and even. So yeah, okay, dark horses. It's funny calling City dark horses given the fact that we pushed them close like a couple of seasons in a row and stuff. And yeah, now they're just not really spoken about. But hey, they're still Manchester City. Game I got for you, Chris, Sheffield United, Everton, little brother. They won. They beat Sheffield United 1-0. And they're actually second in the table. 3 points off of us.
Ancelotti, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ancelotti. He's a great manager. They've got a lot of duds in their team as far as I'm concerned. I don't rate half of their team, but Ancelotti is a legendary manager. He's the point, you know what I mean? You can't disrespect guys like that.
He's won a lot of trophies as Ancelotti. Could he add the Premier League trophy with Everton to that impressive haul he's got going on?
Nah. If he did that, man, seriously, like I said, that's like him turning the performance and fake Gucci loafers into real Gucci loafers. He can't do that, man. He's not going to do that. He's doing great things, and I think long term, he will achieve some. They might win a couple of something. I mean, how teams like Arsenal and Chelsea have put the managers they have in charge and let Ancelotti go to Everton is these guys are on the source. But
Slim, I have to say something, man. You know what is going to be in it. I love Ancelotti as well. He's a classic manager. Love him. But there's not much difference in the squads for me of Leicester and Everton. Do you see the bias? Do you see how he said, yeah, Ancelotti?
Yes, there is.
They're like,
yes, there is.
They're like, how many
squad.
points between
Get
them?
off anyway.
Why can't it be? Why can't Rodgers be the one that's special? That's got them into a shit team to a decent position. Anyway, carry on, Chris.
Hey, Professor Paul, good question, but we've been there, we've done that. We got to move on, man. Come on.
Because I can see Brenda's dress popping out from under his slacks. But anyway,
Anfield South does not condone sexism. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Quick disclaimer, boy.
But anyway, the point I was trying to make is, one, he hasn't. His squad is not as good as Leicester. Stop that nonsense. But anyway, he's got the CV and he's doing well. He's a quality manager. He's proven it at multiple clubs. I don't rate Everton's squad personally. I think they've got one or two players.
Okay, but you don't rate their squad. You don't rate their squad. Does that mean you're not going to give them a shout in the title? I mean, are we that confident, stroke arrogant in our own team and our own abilities that you can't? The team that are second, literally 3 points off of us, are not in the title race, and we're in December.
Because we're talking about what's sustainable with the level of talent he's got. Like they went for a period where they lost like 3 in a row or something, right? The title winning teams don't do that. And Everton will go through that a couple of times in a season. Not because
again though, is that not the benchmarks that we set? Isn't that because we set a high benchmarks last season? And this season is not like last season.
Yes and no. So that is partly because of the benchmark we set, but it also because they haven't got a squad. They've got like a decent first 11. I don't think they're all that, but the squad is dead. Do you know what I mean? If Iwobi's your one of your star guys, do you know what I mean? There's levels to this, and they ain't got a squad to do anything. They will fall away. They'll finish about 6th or 7th. They're not finishing top 4, as good as Ancelotti is, because their squad is just not good at it. Man, like Sigurdsson and all them guys get hot for 5 games and then they're duds again. Do you know what I mean? It's just how the thing is set. So Sheffield United are done. But I think Everton will finish about 5th or 6th.
Fair enough. Honourable mentions from Saturday's round of games, man. Aston Villa. I watched Villa Palace, and Villa, they actually played some really nice football. And they were 1-0 up and they went down to 10 men and they managed to finish the game 3-0. And I mean, yeah, like I said, I think there's a lot said about Jack Grealish and him going to this team and that team and blah, 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 and he's worth it. Forget all of that. Just to watch the guy play, yeah, he's an outstanding footballer in my opinion. And if you watch the goal that El Ghazi scored for Villa, like just wow, he had no right to score from the angle he scores from. But yeah, that's a little honourable mention from me, man. Aston Villa, man, 3-0 winners against Palace. Last game that I want to talk about from today that we slightly touched on was Wolves Spurs. I'm going to wrap this one up really quickly. Jose Mourinho did what he thinks he can do everywhere he goes when he goes away. He got a lucky first goal, in my opinion. It drops to, what's the fella's name? I forgot his name now. Ndombele, yeah. He drops to Ndombele. It's a good hit. They get the goal and they think, right, we're going to sit on this and see this game out. And we know Wolves, they're a good side. The good new Spirit. How do you say his name?
Nuno Espirito
Santos.
Santos.
Nuno Espirito de Santos. Yeah, he's a good manager. He likes to play football with all those Portuguese boys, and they get what they deserve. Wolves in the end. It was like a 86-minute equaliser. Game ends 1-1. Jose Mourinho probably did a post-match interview saying the best team drew, but whatever. Spurs as title contenders. Just looking at the league now, they're 6 points behind. I think they lost their steam a little bit, man. I think that defeat to us at Anfield, I think that deflated their balloon, and it's doing that in the wind thing. So yeah, Spurs as title contenders. I don't know. They're just getting a bit Spursy. But anyway, listen, boys, man, I've got to wrap it up. It's been a great pod. I love the Brendan Rodgers debate, man. And like I said, people, you see the socials going across the bottom. Like, share, subscribe, get involved on all of the topics that we spoke about today. There's not going to be a pod on Wednesday's game. We're going to join Wednesday's game with the game after, because we like to give you a chance to watch and listen, and let the thing breathe. So yeah, catch us the game after Newcastle game, which is Southampton, yeah, which is Southampton, yeah. So we'll see you after that. I've been your boy Slim as always. We've had Professor Paul in the building.
Thanks for your patience with me, Slim. Peace.
Man like Chris as well.
Chris with the real Gucci loafers.
All right. And my guy Bajan Bruce, boy, with it.
Yeah,
and
what's
of course,
going on, people?
Yeah. And of course, Engineer Sam, who's about to get to work while the rest of us finish eating turkey and watching more Christmas movies.
Thanks for watching, people, and listening.
All right, until the next time, guys. We out, man.
Peace.
Peace.